So these 4 questions, I'm going to unpack just very briefly for you. They are the 4 questions that you want to ask yourself as you're thinking about how can I figure out my strengths, okay? The first one is, how am I strong in terms of taking action? So that really is like, are you an achiever? Are you someone who is, you go for goals and you're good at planning, you're good at like unpacking programs? Are you a great problem solver? If so, how? Are you really good at sort of thinking about how to take a problem and move it towards a solution? So maybe consensus builder. So you really want to think like, how do I take action? That's going to be important, and you can illustrate those things. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, how am I strong in terms of my relationships? So often you'll see these phrases and buzzwords and resumes. It's like, I'm a good team leader or team player or natural manager, and that's good. That's a good start. But you really want to take the time to sort of think about, how do you interact with people? Are you someone who builds consensus? Are you someone who is relating with people individually? Are you that kind of person who kind of brings people together and helps people see? They're sort of visionary. Think about your interactions with people. Sometimes it's great to actually ask other people for your strengths, because they see you in a way that you don't even see yourself, because strengths are often they're so natural to us, we don't even notice that. So think about how you might talk about those. And then the third is, how am I strong with strategic thinking? This is your information. So we all have tons of information that come with us, that bombard us every day, but it's how we process that information. Are we good at collecting information or collecting data? Are we good at analyzing that? Are we good at figuring out a pathway? Are we good at figuring out sort of point A to point B, which is sort of being strategic? Are you good at, trying to, are you good at sort of thinking about that big picture sort of thing? There's a lot of different ways you process information, and it doesn't have to be you're like working in a field where you have a lot of information. It can be you're in operations, but you want to think about how you're uniquely dealing with that information, and what you achieve with that. And then the final one is, how am I strong to influence others? So this is, we call the leadership strength. And there's a number of different strengths. So it could be, are you an instigator? Can you start new projects? Are you someone who's really good at taking command of a situation? Are you someone who can take a project and make it from good to great? And if so, how do you do that? These influencing strengths are really important leadership strengths, and it's how you actually come into a team or a group and actually make things happen. So there are, as a Gallup Strength Finder, I can tell you there's 34 strengths. So there's a lot of different ways to unpack your strengths. And the key is to really pull those out in a way that someone can really understand and see your narrative.